Okay, so open up the program we were working on and I'll also find it. I have to open up yours. So let's close this one. And what's this one? I don't know. So let me open a file. So this is relational database here. Wednesday, week 10. Okay, so this is what we were working on last week. And I think we had a couple of them left because you got tired. I had to stop. There it is. Yeah. Okay. No, I never get tired. Okay, where were we? I see correlated subquery, which is interesting. It's in your assignment also. So that will help. Give me a minute to refresh everything in my mind. Okay, so it was a my contacts thing where people were looking for thank you. I told you guys are good. Okay, so we had 4 tables. We had a my contacts table in which information about people looking for job or contacts were kept. We had a job current table, people working currently. We had a job desired table, contacts who desire for a job. And then we had a job listings table, which was in a way not related to any of the contacts, but it was a table in which you were saying, oh, these are the jobs that are available in the market, right? And then we did quite a few, not quite a few, but we did quite a few ways of answering different queries. Though we only did 5, I think we finished 5, or I can't remember, 5 or 6 for sure. And we kind of tried to understand. So the ERD, always remember you need the ERD. And unfortunately, this ERD that is being created here is not the correct one, just because I don't know why. But in your assignment, I've asked for an ERD. So when you create the ERD using you can use whatever you like. You can do it by hand. You can use a software program, but double check that the ERD is correct. For example, in mine, it is showing that there is a one-to-many relationship between my contacts and job desired and job current, but there isn't. There is a one-to-one because it's a primary key. So I'm not sure why it is doing it, and I've not been able to find a solution, but I just still stick to this because it's still easy to understand. The aim is that you have the tables, you know the relationships. So always, and I would highly recommend it for your assignment also, that you have your ERD with you when you work with it. Take a print or something and sit with it. It's really helpful. But when you give it to me, please see that everything is clearly mentioned, because I can't read colors. I have no clue what each thing means. And I've told you, clearly label your primary keys and your foreign keys and everything. You can create a legend for me, or take a colored printout and do, or make your own colors, whatever works for you. Use any other software you like. But if there is something wrong, see that you correct it. For example, here it's showing a one-to-many relationship between this, and this is wrong. This is not a one-to-many relationship. There is a one-to-one relationship. Information about a contact only occurs once in job current, because one contact is only doing a job. And how do I know it? Because contact ID is a primary key there. So if it's primary key, it cannot be repeated. If it cannot be repeated, where is the infinity many coming from? So be careful. If you're going to use a software to create your ERDs, sure, go ahead and do it, but double check that it is right. Okay. So take a printout and make changes or whatever. And of course, you have to tell me what this symbol is for. If, for example, in this one, what is the yellow symbol for? What is the red symbol for? And if it's a black and white printout, use a colored pencil and color it or something. You have red pens, you have blue pens, right? Or just put something FK in brackets, and then in the legend say FK means primary key, F foreign key, and so on. Whatever works for you. But I should not need your help to read your ERD, is the bottom line. Okay. Okay, so let's come back to what we were doing. So we had done a few things here. Let me see where we were. And the aim is to give you whatever I can think of. in terms of efficiency, in terms of joins, outer joins, subqueries. That's what I'm trying to do, give you whatever I know or whatever I have learned from experience. At the end of the day, it will be your job when you go out in the job world. So we are on 6, right? It says name and email of all contacts. So as soon as you read name and email, oh, I need the my contacts table. We know the first table. Who currently do not have a job, right? So people who have a job are in job current. So if I subtract the two tables, you are here but you are not here, means you do not have a job. So whenever there is a question which says you are here and you are not here, it's an outer join which will help you. Why? Because you can't make an inner join. Inner join always is you are in both the tables. I'm trying to join you on something. So you are here and you are here. Therefore, I'm trying to join you. When it says it's here but not here, it's always an outer join that you should think of. I can do it using inner join, but it was going to be very messy and very inefficient. And remember, I did it. I said you simply can't say not equal to and it will work. It will not work. So you have to be, so whenever a question says, do not think, oh, outer join is what will work. Why? Because outer join tries to make everybody join, but then fields records that don't find a partner have null. And that way you can say, oh, I want to pick this up. So again, I'll do it one by one, and then we'll kind of see, oh, this is what we want. This is what we want to remove from the table. And this is what we are left with. Okay, so one by one. So I'll do it one by one. You can follow me, and then if you want to keep the steps, sure. But I'll change as I go on. So I didn't even write an inner join here. I just said outer join subquery, and I said something like a correlated subquery today, which is new, which will be absolutely new to you, and you will need it in your assignment also. Okay, so let's go one by one. So definitely the two tables to be joined are my contacts, because this is where the email and name are coming, and job current, because this is telling me who has jobs. So if I kind of remove these people from my contacts, what will be I left with? People who do not have jobs, right? I don't need the job desired table. I don't need the job listings table. So the two tables that I'm interested is in my contacts, and the other table is job current. But now when we do an outer join, we always say, oh, let's try to take the smaller table as the major table, because I'm trying to find people here and try to find their name and email here. But this is the opposite. You want those names and emails that are in my contacts, but not in that other table. Okay, so we will write it, taking and then think which should be my master table. Where will I get smaller results, less results, which will be more efficient. Okay. Having said that, let's try to begin, at least do it. Okay, so it didn't say anything. It just said name and email. So you can use concatenation if you want. If it doesn't say anything, it didn't say any first name or last name. Oh, and something that I found when I was doing it with the other section with WS, and which is good that here. I've used concat WS, and I said it automatically puts a blank between the two names. It doesn't. It doesn't. You have to tell it what to put between the two. See, I'll show you the result. It is in second. So let's just try to run it till here. Oh, I've used it at many places. Let's try to only run the first second. It's also in the concat is also in the first one. Let me only try to run this for you and see if the first name and the last names are concatenated. And nobody even kind of pointed it out that day. And I don't know what I saw. And I said, oh, that's not right. So let's run it. And oh, I'm doing F5 for Python. This is what happens when you teach one after another. See, do you see name? It's not showing me the full name. It's only showing me last name. Looks like, right? Kroger and Mendoza. So though I said concat WS is a replacement of concat, this WS automatically doesn't put a white space between the two. You have to tell it to put it. So, and nobody brought it to my notice the other day. And I mean, we are looking at answers and we are not even, I mean, I'm not even paying attention to it. I shouldn't blame you. It's not even me. So I had to look up concat WS, which I did, of course. And I said, why isn't it putting it? And in my SQL, And you can go to W3 schools also, which is not bad, or of course go to your own reference manual. And it said you have to tell me what do I want to put between the fields you are trying to concat. And I thought WS means white space and it will automatically put it. Though white space means three things. Your programmers, you know, white space means a space or a tab or a new line. But I don't know what I thought when I was doing this. Like I just thought, oh, it will put a space for me. So I have to tell what to put. So what you will do is, because we can do this very quickly, please do a find and a replace in here in your whole code. Maybe I did it already on your Blackboard. I can't remember. So it's a control, I forget what it is. It should be a control F something. No, it's not. Okay. So in edit, do a find. Why is it not coming? Strange. It automatically comes here. But I went from here now, so I didn't know what it was. So I went from here and said find. Oh, it is a control H. Maybe I didn't press my key here. Okay, so what are you trying to find? Please try to find this everywhere in your code. The concat WS with the opening bracket. Okay, and what do you want to replace it with? Everywhere you want to replace it with, put a single quote. We are using single, you can use double. Put a single quote, a space bar, a single quote, and a comma. So take your concat WS everywhere. I don't want to do it manually because we made it wrong. So you take your concat WS, try to find this, right? This is what I'm trying to find. And I'm going to replace it with concat WS, and I want to give my first, put a blank, press your space bar, and then put a comma and replace it. So everywhere now your concat WS will get replaced by the right thing. Now you will see your first name and last name separated by a blank, by a space. We want a space. Of course, if you wanted something else, you could just put it. But we want a space. So do that, please. Do a concat WS. I've written it here so that it's more clear, though the light is not so good. Right? And then replace it with opening quotes, the space bar, closing quotes, and a comma. And what will happen is it will become the first parameter of every concat WS you've written. And then it will give you the right answer, right? So do that. Replace all. And see, it's replaced it everywhere. You'll see it. And now if I try to run it, I'll just run the first one again, only the first one. Oh, it's already run once. So I'll just run this again. And there it is. Now the answer is correct. Now I'm seeing the first name and the last name separated by a space. So sorry about that. I mean, I didn't even think of it, and I'm looking at answers and it's not registering in my brain. But afterwards, when I did it with the other section, I'm saying, why is it only showing me the last name? Okay, my mistake. But it is so you know what? It's not very different from concat. In concat, you put the blank in between. You put a comma and you put a blank in between where you want it. Here you put it as the first character. So, I mean, whatever it is. I thought it was smart. It's not as smart. Anyway, my mistake, but rectified now. Okay, having said that, it just came to my mind because I was going to show you the name here also. So let's again pick up the first name or the last name or concatenate it or whatever. So let's do it an outer join. So nothing was asked. It only said a name. So I leave it. You can do whatever you like. So let's select. And you can use concat WS now that you know about it, or use the other one, whichever you like. Take your first name. The field was called first. Oh, no, not again. Space bar, first name. Comma, the second field is called, I think it was called last name. Yeah, last name. That's the name. And I want the email. Oh, don't forget to call it name. That is something else you have to remember also in your assignment. I've said, please name your columns wherever needed. You can name all of them if you like, if you don't like the names, but definitely where you are concatenating or doing a subquery or doing something maximum value or minimum value, then it will not give you a good name. I want you to change it automatically. Okay. And the second field is email. And as I said, if you want, it's not necessary, but you can always say email address or say whatever you like. The email is good enough. Okay. Name and email of all contacts who currently do not have a job. So I'm going to do step by step. I'm going to do a star first. Which two tables do you want to join? You want to join the, of course, you want to make an outer join, but we have to think which will be my major table. So they are here. I want to say, take my contacts table and everybody says hello to somewhere. So master table is the bigger table this time. Okay, so the master table was from, and the table was called my contacts something. Yes. Turn off those lights. Does that work better for you? I somehow become blind. Okay. That's okay. I can live with it if it makes it better for you. Yeah, it's not too bad. I'm getting old, see? So for me, it's no, I'm good. It's fine. It's not that bad. Usually I can't see my screen too well if these lights are off, but I think it makes more sense that it should be better for you. Okay, so from table my contacts, call it MC if you like. Now I've put it on the left, so I'll use a left outer join. Now you'll say, why are you taking the bigger table to be your master table? Because look at the question. The question says, I want to get information about everybody who does not have a job. And that everybody who doesn't have a job is present in which table? In the my contacts table. If it was the other way around, who has jobs, then I would have taken the job current table to be my master table. Right? So that table, and make a left outer join with TBL, and it was called job current something. Yeah, looks like it's right. Right? And now the joining condition. Don't forget the joining condition. On what are you joining? On the contact ID. Yes, on the contact ID. So you can do on, you can do using. Remember, we have the using and contact ID. Yes, we will do that. If it helps, it's not going to help a lot because I've used using now. If I was using on, then definitely I would say mc.contact ID is equal to job current.contact ID. If you don't need to, like using is the easy form. Guys, don't get into the habit. I know this is the easiest where you don't even have to think, but maybe by doing using, you forget your on and forget how to make conditions. Okay, so that's what I've joined. I'm going to stop here for a minute and show you the output, right? So that you can see what's happening. So let's take this. I did an outer join and I did hello in my contact says hello to everybody on the other. Something is not right. Not everybody has a job. 7 and 10. Only 2 people don't have a job. Oh, okay. I thought many people didn't have a job. Only 2 people don't have a job. So the 2 people who don't have a job have what in null? Their title is null, the salary is null, and the start date is null, and the contact ID is also null. And that's another thing. See, when I say using, I don't see the other contact ID column. I don't see the second one. But when I do on, I see both of them. So again, maybe on will be better to do in this case. So now which ones do you have to want to pick up? People who don't have a job have their contact ID in the second table as null. Right? Which people don't have a job? Look at it. 7 doesn't have a job and 10 doesn't have a job. What special do you see in these 2 records? This is special. Their fields are null. Which fields are null? All the fields are null. So which one would you like to pick up? You can pick up title, you can pick up salary, you can pick up start date, but I always try to stick to the primary key, which is the contact ID. When it is not showing, because using only shows it once, right? If I do an on, I think it will show it twice. So let's do an on just for the heck of it. So I'm going to do an on to see if it shows. And then I'm going to do the same thing. And I'm going to show you a right outer join this time. And see if we can get the answer from the right outer join also. So let's remove the using and do an on. And here now the names will come handy. So the other one was JC, job current. I think when you do this way, you see two columns. And when you say using, you only see it once. Let me try. I could be wrong, but I think that's my understanding. Yeah, see. Yeah. So if you say on, it shows you the common field is shown twice. When you say using, it is only shown once. Right? Now it's easy to see, oh, the contact ID is null here and the contact ID is null here. So wherever possible, stick to the primary key when you make any comparisons or whatever, right? So this works. All I have to do is I want these two records. I only need these two records. So I'll say pick up where the contact ID is null, and it will do it. Now let's look at the right outer join. I did the same thing, but I used a right outer join here. So were we able to see the time? I don't think so. Let's see. 0 seconds. Great job. Okay, let's see what I'm getting here. So will a right outer join work at all? No, absolutely no. Why? Because right outer join is saying my master table is my job current, and job current says I have a job. Everybody finds a partner. So here the right outer join will not work. I just changed the left to right because I wanted to make the other table as my master table. You can still write a left outer join by switching the table. So this won't work at all. This is only telling me information about people who have a job. So in this case, the job current cannot be a master table. Doesn't matter whether you are using right or left outer join, it cannot be the master table because the information you want to grab, who doesn't have a job, is in the other table. Okay, so keep these things in mind again when you do your assignment. So the aim is doing all this work, the aim and doing so many examples is you get the idea of how joins work. So I'm going to put a note here for you, and I'm going to say this will not work. I mean, when I say this will not work, I mean it will not work as a solution. This won't or will not, let's keep it whatever. Done. So the aim was to show you that, oh, you have to be careful when you do your outer joins. So what is the master table is an important thing. It was an important thing last week also, but more in terms of efficiency, it was important. Today, it is important that it won't even work, right? It's not that it's not giving you the right solution. So I'm going to put this in comments for you. I'll leave it here so that when you do your assignment and you refer back, you say, oh, that makes sense. Okay, now which ones do you want to keep from this one? We've already seen. We wanted to keep those ones where the contact ID for the JC, now the JC comes handy. That contact ID, I want to choose it. Do I double click or do I do a tab? Oh, you do a tab. Okay, I was doing an enter and it wasn't doing it. Is what? Is null. So I want those people where the contact ID is null. These are people who don't have a job. And now I know it will work, but still now all you want is their name, but you can always double check. We should have two records, 7 and 10. Right? So I see two records, 7 and 10. Those are the people who didn't have a job. And now we only need their name and their emails. So there is the answer. So I'm emphasizing this, and I cannot emphasize it more. Whenever you work with outer joins, go step by step. First, just join them, normal, look at the result, then see what you want or do not want from them, and then add a condition. And then remove the star and put the fields that you want. Why star? Because then you can see all the fields. that helps you kind of say, oh, these are the fields of my first table, of my second table. This is what I don't want, or this is what I want to keep, and then use it. So here I wanted to keep those records where the job ID is null. So it's not a necessity that you will always remove not nulls or nulls. Depends on what you're doing. Now the answer definitely should be correct, because all I've done is I've removed the star and I've just put, give me the first name and the last name. And just to double check that the WS is working, there it is. So here are people who do not have a job. Done? I cannot do it using inner join, because there is no way that they have partners. Inner join is only when you have partners. You'll say, I'll do not equal to contact ID. That won't work. You'll say, I'll do and I'll say the contact ID is not equal to the contact ID. That won't work. We've already tested it in one of a previous ones. Then there are so many answers. Everybody who's not related gets matched. That's not what we want. We do want to match on contact ID, but we want those people who do not have a job. So equality doesn't change to not equal and will start working in an inner join. Okay. What about a subquery? So this is the only way that we can do using outer join, nothing else. I mean, I can write it using a right outer join, then you just switch your tables, right? Right outer join just means the right table is the master table. Okay, now subquery. Find out people who have a job. So who has a job? Select the contact ID of those people from the table job current who have a job. Here alias names are not important because subquery is kind of independent. You can put it in more than one lines for sure. It's just that, oh, that's it. All these people have a job. All these people have a job. Contact ID from table job current. These people have a job. What do you want now? You want those people from the table where the contact ID what is, remember your is and is not. Oh, I'm saying is, though I don't have to write it. We have never written it, but you don't, not, and you can use the word is because it's English like anyway. Where is the, oh, or was it giving an error? Was it? I thought you could write is. Is it giving you to semicolon? No, the word is, okay, no, it cannot be written. Here. So select the contact IDs for people who have a job and then tell me people who don't have a job. So pick up each record from the contacts table. Are you in there? Then I don't want you. You are not in there? I want you. Spit it out. Right? So if you're not in the list, remember not in, not equal to, not in. Same thing as equality and in. You can't say not equal to like the relational operator not equal. Because what you're getting at line number 23 could be a list. It could be only one, but it could be a list. We don't know how many people have a job. It could be a list. When you look in a list, you use in and not in. You don't use equal and not equal operators, relational operators. You cannot do it, right? And you'll get an error. Okay. You have to again keep that in mind. So it's like in and equal, it's not in and the not equals. The relational operator is not equal. So we should again get the same answer. Let's run it. 7 and 10. Right? So it works. Now comes something that is not required at all, but it's something you have to learn. It's new. You have to learn it. And I'll tell you how I kind of work my head around it. If it helps you, good. As a student, I'm sure as a student, I didn't know how to work around it, but now I know better. So I'll tell you how I think about it and then put it in a correlated subquery. 1, it is a subquery. So it's a query within a subquery. 2, it is correlated. What does correlated mean? That it is not independent. Look how line number 423 is independent. You could run it as an independent subquery and it will give you a result. But what you're trying to write now is a correlated subquery. Why would you write it if it can be done this way? Because you want to learn more. So there are two more verbs we are going to learn, exists and not exists, which you haven't seen before. And they work with correlated subquery. So let me write it and then try to tell you how I put it in my head and I can get a result. Hopefully, maybe it will help you. So it is a little tough, okay? So we are still interested in the name and that doesn't change. Right? So I'm still interested in the name and whatever from the table. I should have copied the whole thing, of course. But still a subquery, guys. Please kind of note that it is a correlated subquery. Let me put it here. It's still a subquery, not a join. But it is correlated because there is a relationship. Okay, so get the name and the email of all those persons who do not have a job. So in other words, if I want to say it in other words, I'm trying to say this, where they do not exist, right? So something like that, where they do not exist. So let me complete it and then we'll talk about it. And I'll tell you how I figure it out. So this is new for you. You've not done it. Where not exists and then a subquery. And in the subquery, it's not yet finished, okay? Let me complete it. Okay, so what am I doing? Where did I give my other table a name? No, I didn't, so I should give it. Copy it first, okay? Copy it and then I tell you. And sometimes there is no other way but to answer it using a correlated subquery. And you know what? I'll kind of try to put them together so that you can see them together and then put it in your head. Notice how at 422 I am saying where contact ID is not in that set. What I'm trying to, and this is a correlated query. Why correlated? Look at the inner query. The inner query is checking a condition that is picking up a field from the outer table. Can I run this independently? Nope, because it says mc.contact ID. Where is MC? Nowhere to be seen. I can only run this query as a whole. Let me run it as a whole first for you to prove that hopefully I'm right. Right? And now kind of say it in English so that you understand what I'm doing. I forget if I have done this. I think I'm okay. Okay. What is it trying to do? It says I'm trying to look for all those people such that they do not exist when I try to join the two tables. Think of it again. I'm trying to find the name and email of those people that do not exist when I try to join the two tables. Make sense? So you're trying to join JC and MC, inner join. When I say join, I mean an inner join. You're trying to join them. They'll get joined on contact IDs, right? But now I'm looking for all those records that were not able to join when I joined those two tables. That tells me they are in my contacts, but they are not in JC. So not exist says I do not exist in that join. And exist says I exist in that join. Try to, I don't know how you will put it in your head. It's something that you have to figure out yourself, but I'm telling you how I think about it. So I'm saying I want those records, not even name. I'm not even thinking names and emails that can come afterwards. I want those records from the my contacts table that do not exist in the join of that table with the job current table. Make sense? So those are people who don't have a job. Think of it again. My contacts and job current are joined on my contact ID. So you have some records that are joined. Now you're saying pick up those records from MC who do not belong there. So what will you get? People who don't have a job. So they don't exist in that join. Is a correlated subquery a necessity here? Of course not. I've written it in 3 ways. I've given you an outer join. I've given you a normal subquery, but I'm showing you a correlated subquery because you have to know about it. And this, if you see them together, you can kind of make sense. Here you're saying, give me all those records that do not exist in the join of the two tables MC and JC. So who are they? People who don't have a job. Make sense? So there is a not exists and there is an exists also. So maybe in some example, I'll find an exists for you also. But in this table, I'm saying not exist. And if I do the opposite, I think I'll get people who have a job. I'm not so sure. Let me think about it. This record must exist there. Yeah, maybe. Okay, so let's try that. Though it's not the answer. How many people had jobs? Leaving 7 and 10, right? Yep. So we have 8 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 2 do not have a job. 8 and 2 is 10. There were 10 people in all. So see, if you wanted people who, and I said, okay, write a correlated subquery. Now think about it, what I'm saying. I'm saying give me all those records from MC where they exist in the inner join of the other two tables. So they all have a job. So though this is not the answer of what we are looking for, exist works in your head should work the same way. Do you exist in that table? If that's what you want. Do you not exist in that joined table? That's what I want. And as I said, this is not the only solution because you've just seen that there are 2 other solutions, but you have to know what a correlated subquery is. And sometimes there is no other solution and you have to write a correlated subquery. If you can find an example here itself, I will. Maybe in your assignment, I've asked for a correlated subquery also. I will be testing you on everything in your assignment as far as I can remember. Right? So that works. So that's new for you. So it's called a subquery because it's a query within a query. So there is one here and there is one here. It's called a correlated subquery because there is a relationship that you're trying to do inside the other one. So therefore, it is called a correlated subquery. Okay? Done? Okay, let's go to the third one. Don't sleep on me, guys. I know you're tired. I can see some of you sleeping. That's okay. I would even if I was a student. Okay, here, let's go to the next one. We want to find out all those job titles that are desired and are in the job listing. Did we do that before? I can't remember. Maybe I did it with the other section. Something looks familiar. Anyway. Okay, jobs, titles that are desired means in the desired table and are in the job listings means in the job listings table. Right? So which 2 tables need to be joined? Job desired and job listings. And I only need the titles. So select the title. Okay, so let's do it. So the easy way first. Not the easy way. I mean, things we know. So there's again a correlated subquery there. Okay. So select just the title. Oh, the title will have to kind of we'll have to qualify it because there is a title here and there is a title there. So job desired. JD, we'll call it JD. I'm assuming we'll call it JD. From. I've said join. I haven't said outer or inner. So let's think. These 2 tables are related job titles and are in the job listings. I can do it either way. I can do an inner join. I'll also be able to do an outer join also. I can do it many ways. Okay, so let's start with the inner join then. Okay, so the first table, job desired. And I'm calling it JD. Do an inner join or put a comma, whatever you like. The other table is called job listings. Call it JL. Of course, What are you joining on? What's the common thing? They are here and they are there. So you're joining it on title. So you can use using if you like, you can use on if you like, you can use your where with inner join. Yes, you can use where, whatever you like, because this is the easiest one. But remember, using can only be used if the name of the field is the same. Only then. And you are doing equality. Otherwise, you cannot. Actually, I could have done this using a natural join also. So let's do that too. Let's do a natural join. It's a simple one. It doesn't look tough at all. People who desire a job, people are looking for a job. What's the big deal? Nothing. There's no big deal at all. What is natural join? Natural join means field names should be same and on equality. This should work. So people looking and desired. How many were there? 2 computer programmers and 1 baker. Seems like as if I have done it, haven't I? Why does it look familiar? Double check, guys. Have I already done it? No. Oh, here, see, I thought I had 1, 2. What is it saying? Yeah, right? Select the full name and phone numbers. Oh, this was full name and phone numbers. Okay, that's okay. But I thought we had kind of talked about it. So that's why it looks familiar. Here it was only titles. I'm not looking for their names or anything. Okay, now do it using an outer join. So this should work. They are working. Baker, computer programmer are titles who are looking for a job and who are in job listings. If you want to make it unique, you put distinct. Otherwise, you can leave it like this, because then I'll know, oh, 2 people are looking for computer, or either way. It could have been either way. Okay. Now try to do it using outer join. Of course I can. I'm sure I can use it using an outer join. Why not? Okay. So people who desire a job and are in the job listings. Okay, so let's do it. Let's do a copy. And let's change it, which should be my major table. They desire and are in the listing. So desire should be my master table. Left outer join. Because the question says you're looking and it's in the listings, right? With the job listings. We'll need the using here again. Or you can do the on if you want to kind of, don't forget your ons. I mean, you can use using, nothing stops you, okay? Okay, now let me think for a minute. Everybody who is desiring a job is in the job desire table. We want to check if they are in the job listings table. Go find a partner, go find a partner. Oh, sales manager couldn't find a partner. So definitely we'll have to remove something. So let's do a star. Let's do this and see what extra do we have. So these are working. We already know these are working. Right? Both these are working. These are titles, so they're working. Now let's see what do we get out of this table when we do a left outer join. Oh. Unknown column contact ID. Spelling is wrong somewhere. Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry. Thank you. There is no contact ID. That's what happens when you get your ons, right? Thank you. There is no commonality except title. Okay. Now let's see this one. So everybody, and why did I make this as my master table? Because people desiring a job were less and listings was bigger, right? And it made more sense. People who are looking for something, can you tell me if it's there? So common, like logical wise also, it makes more sense. So now what do I want to remove? Sales manager didn't find something and chef didn't find something, and their job ID was null in the other table, right? So people who are looking for a job and it is in the table, I want to remove these ones. So what will you remove? Where the job ID is null. So remove them. So people looking for a job, but they don't have a job. So which ones do you want to keep? You want to keep those records where the job ID is not null. Right? You want to keep these people. The first 3 records you want to keep. So these are people who desire for a job and the job is available. And now you only want their title. So run this first. Right? Correct? I have those 3. Now all I'm interested is in the title. Now run it again. And there you are. Okay, so always go step by step. I would, if I were you, even after so many years of using joins, I still always go in steps, because then I make it clear to you too that this is how it is working. If you're smart enough, sure, no problem at all. Subquery. So I can again use it writing a right outer join. I just have to switch the tables. Okay, or you can do it a less efficient way by doing a right outer join with the same tables. I'm just trying to do enough. I've done enough kind of efficiency or more efficiency with you. And I would prefer an outer join, because whenever you are trying to see you are here and you are not here, your head should always say outer join is more efficient. And it is, because inner join says everything, say hello everybody. But the outer join is saying I'm here and I am not here. So you have to always think. Okay, subquery now. People who are desired and who have it. Okay, so let's select the title from the job listings table. So here, these jobs are available. Right? Now, what do you want? You want those titles from the other table. What was it? Job desired, right? Where? What? These are people who desire a job and the title is in there. There. So select the title from the job desired people where the title is in job listing. So people looking for a job and it is in the job listings. Should work. Looks like it should work, but you never know till you work it. Okay, good. We've done it. Now, correlated subquery or correlated query. Think about it. Before I give you the solution, of course, think about it. And again, if you want the distinct, anytime you want the distinct, you just have to put distinct wherever it is required. Okay. Now, correlated subquery. What do I want to do? All job titles that are desired and are in the job listings. Oh, okay. Okay, so our desired are in the job listings. Do an inner join of the table jobs desired and jobs listing. If it exists there, that means it is available. Make sense? Okay, think about it. The 2 tables involved are listings and desired. Make a join out there. Now, it is extra work. It is the least efficient, I should say. So you have those records that are joined. Now pick up those records from the job desired such that they exist in this joint table. Right? So least efficient, I should say, but I just have to show it to you. So let's do it. So again, I'm interested in the, sure, put distinct if you like, okay? I mean, I'm just doing it. If nothing is asked in the question, it doesn't mean, I mean, it's up to you, but I will always be clear. Okay, so select the title from the table called job desired, because there is where the information is, who desires it. And now where exists. And from where is it existing? I forgot my semicolon. That's why I have a red squiggly right in the one. Where exist. This record must exist in the join of the 2 tables. So therefore it is the least efficient, but it can be done. So I'm showing it to you. Select star. You can just do a star here. Just select all the records from the two tables, TBL job listings. Inner join, you can replace the inner join if you like with commas if you like, but let me think for a minute. Okay. Oh, I'll have to give it a name. This title should be equal to the title outside. And I'll have to give it a name here too. I mean, you don't have to, but it's just easy. Oops. Copy it and then we'll discuss it. So what am I saying? Kind of, think of what I'm saying. The inner select at line number 457 is doing an inner join. If you think of it, it's doing an inner join. But you're saying, where is the second table with which it is doing the inner join? That's why it is a correlated subquery. The condition is saying that title here should be equal to the title there. And what is the other table? Job design. So the inner table is doing an inner join such that the titles are same. And then you're only picking up those titles from the job desire table such that they exist in that job. Right? So it is an inner join of job listings and job desired. And if a record is picked up from job desired and is in that inner join group, you desire a job and it is also in the listings. So there is an example of exists now. So you don't have to repeat the inner join or anything on line 457. With the condition where you say where the title here is equal to title there, it is doing an inner join itself. But it is doing an inner join, and then you pick up only those titles such that they are inside there. Why have I used the select star in the 457? I'm not sure if it's being lazy or will it change. Let me think. Star says just pick up all those records. And this one says just pick up titles. I think both will work, but I'm not so sure. I have to think for a minute. Is it necessary to do a star? I don't think so. Let's do it with the star to see the results are right. First, that's step number 1. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make a, so the results are right. Okay. So we should get, because I haven't used distinct, it's right. Now, if all I'm saying is where this exists, but the exist is, okay. The title must exist in the join of the titles. Makes sense, I think. Yes. So star is not necessary. The star is just saying join the two tables. So it really doesn't matter. You can use a title or you can use just the star. Depends on you. Really, it's not different at all. So whatever you like. Using this is more efficient because it's only picking up a column. Selecting star is picking up all columns. So we'll leave it there. So again, think about it. What did I do with the correlated subquery? I'm looking for those titles that are desired and are also in the listings. So if in a way I take the listings and I take the desired and do an inner join, I want to pick up those titles that are also present in the job desired. So that's a correlated subquery. Again, why correlated? Because of the relationship that inside condition is using a table from outside. That's correlated. And why a correlated subquery, which I forget, I don't know why, but whatever it is. Why a correlated subquery? Because there is a select and there is a select. Maybe they just call it correlated query and don't call it a correlated subquery, and therefore that's my comment. That is your correlated subquery with an exists. Okay. So in exists, you don't mention, you don't do an inner join here again. You don't say comma or whatever. This condition is doing the inner join for you on the same titles. Okay. And last, I'll do 7B and then I'll give you a break. Promise. find all those job titles that are desired by more than one computer programmer, right? Remember, more than one people want it and are in the job listing. So one part is done. They are in the job listing parts we've already done. But now we want to do that. So there is one baker job desired and it's in the listing. But two people want to be computer programmers and it's in the listing. So one part of the job is done. We know how to find out people who desire a job and are in the job listings. But the second job says, I only want to see those titles in which the count is more than one. That's what it means. Counting is more than one, right? So now think about it. What have you done which will help you to do this subquery? Put your heads together for all your advanced select statements. What do you have to do? First job desired in job listings. Job number 2, group them up. Right? Group what up? Group the titles up. So you are in job desired, you are in the listings. Good. Are you now group them up? More than one baker jobs are desired, more than one computer programmers, more than one sales manager, group them up. And then pick up those groups where the count is greater than 1. So group and having has to be used. Why? Because job number 1, are you desiring a job? Are you in the listings? Good. Yes, I get all those titles. Now I have to group them up because I'm interested in who is desiring the same job. So I have to group them up. Grouping on what? Title, of course. Then, are you more than 1 in your count? Show me those groups where the count is more than 1. I've forgotten my trims everywhere in this title, but that's okay. I'm not going back and trimming them. But the concept is right. The logic is right. It's just the trimming which I haven't done. Okay, so one by one. Let's do it one by one. Now you can do it in all the ways. You can do it using a subquery. You can use it using an outer join, a correlated subquery, because all three, I've done it in all three to find who needs a job and are in the listings. Here I'll just do one because here the more important thing is that you understand the group and the having. Okay. So of those, I like the outer join because outer join says you are here and you are not here kind of stuff, but you can do it either way. It really doesn't matter. So I'm going to pick up these two inner joins or natural joins that I did. I know these are already working. And we'll talk about why can't I do it using a subquery or a correlated subquery after I've finished it. Okay, so here, the two tables are joined on the title. Now I have to do something extra. And can I trim right here in using? I haven't tried it. Can we do trim right here? Does it allow us to do it? Or does it give an error? Is it the error due to the semicolon? Okay, so you can do trimmings when you're doing using. You have to use on. That's strange. No? But maybe that's the syntax. Can't do much about it. If you can't do much about it, then I really can't do much about it. So we'll take it from here and we'll do a trim here. So just, you'll say, why didn't you do on the first one? I forgot, guys. So you can use trim on, you cannot use trim in using, and I'll have to read it up. Why? There has to be a reason for everything. It's, of course, how the engine works, but still. Okay. Now what do you want to do? So I've joined the tables on the title. Definitely I have these people desire it and they are in the job listings. Now I have to group them. Group them by what? Group them by titles. What else? I can only group them by titles. So group them by titles. So any title will do. Do I need a trim here? Yes, because I'm using trims everywhere now. Group them by titles. Now pick up those groups where the count is greater than 1. Oh God, the trimming is kind of creating quite a bit of work. There. So the first 3 lines we had already done in 7A. These are those people who desire a job and are in the job listings. Now my next job was to group them by title, and I forgot I did a trim. I grouped them by titles, and then I only pick up those records where title is greater than 1. And the same thing has to be done here. The same thing has to be also done in the outer join. I don't have my semicolon, therefore I see a squiggly. Remove the semicolon from here, and it's the same thing. And again, please do trims if you want. I forgot in the first one. I only remember it when I come to class, that I have to look up how to ignore extra blanks on right and left. I'm as bad as you guys. No, I'm bad. I'm worse than you because I keep forgetting. But I have to find out. Okay. If you want to just show it also without the titles, you can do a trim here also. There has to be a way without trimming where you can ignore blanks on both sides. Are we okay? Did I do trims everywhere? Yes. Make sense? I didn't do anything extra. All I did was I added the group and the having. And what does it do? So I had one person was looking for a baker, and notice I can't use distinct here because the job is to count, right? So one person was looking for a baker, bless you. 2 people were looking for computer programmer jobs. One was looking for sales manager, and one was looking for something else, chef. The first thing that was done was only baker and computer programmers were picked up because I did a job. Now my job is which title is more favored, or more common, right? Let's say more common or frequent. Baker is occurring once, computer programmer is occurring twice, could be 3 or 4 times, doesn't matter. But I am interested in those that are more than one. So what do? I have baker, I have computer programmer, I have computer programmer. I join them, I group them by title. So there is a group with 1 baker, there is a group with 2 computer programmers. Of this, I only want to pick up those groups in which the count is greater than 1. So what will come up? Only computer programmer will come. Right? So keep in mind, having is to grouping, as from is to select, where. So let's try to run it. There it is, right? And you will get the same answer here. There was no difference except an outer join or an inner join. Now, can I do it using a subquery? So both will work. Both are working. The answer should be computer programmer, and it is right. Can I do it using a subquery? There is no way I can count them. Is there? I select the titles from job listings. Good. Then I select the titles from the job desired table. But nowhere can I group them. If I say distinct, I only get it once. If I want to do grouping, can I do a grouping here? Can you do a grouping here? No, the having and the grouping has to come at the end. Putting a having here will not work. Syntax says select from where, order by, no, group by, having, order by. So where will I put my grouping here? Logically, I can't. I can put it here because the where is still not done. So it is picking up all titles. And I can put the grouping at the end. I doubt. I'm sure I'll get a syntax. Logically, syntax wise, it's not showing me an error. But will it run or not run? I don't know. Think about it. Select the title. It's not a distinct. This works, and then the group. Why not? Let's see logically. I don't know. I really don't know. Oh, no. Unknown column JD title in group statement. Oh. Yep. It's causing a problem here. Oh, because there is no JD. Oh, you know what? I'm going to pick this up and not disturb the other things that I had. And I'm going to put it here at the bottom. Let's put a JD here. I'm trying to answer it using a subquery. The bottom line is, can I group them? and I'll remove it from 7B because I don't want to disturb this one. I shouldn't have anyway in the first place. Okay, let's go and look. Can I do it using a subquery? I don't know. Logically looks okay. Why not? Select the title. It's not distinct. You have it. And then you do a group and have a count. It does work logically. So I was like, kind of, I thought I wasn't sure whether the grouping or having has to be placed where. But if you kind of look at the first, it says pick up the titles. Are they, pick them up, now group them up, and then see if their count is written. But you can't use distinct, guys. Here you cannot use distinct. If you do distinct, you will never get an answer. Why? Because distinct will only have one computer programmer, and it will never have, the answer will never be. It shouldn't be. So don't use that. Let me double check. Oh, it still works. That's strange. So I don't know how it is working behind the scenes then. I take back my word then. I don't know how it is working behind the scenes. I'll have to look it up in terms of engine, because database engines are weird animals. You really have to understand them to really work with them. Therefore, there are 10 of them, but we stick, the world sticks with ISAP and InnoDB. But I thought it was doing that job first, and then it was doing the grouping type, but that's not what it is doing. That's proved it, right? It's not doing that job first. So how does it do it? Which sequence does it do it in? I don't know. I can't answer that. I thought it does that and then it does the grouping. That's how logically I was thinking. But seems like, no, that's not how it does it, because I still get the answer. I get the computer programmer as my answer still. I won't try distinct because it doesn't make sense in my head, but it is still working with distinct, right? It's not, I can't digest the idea because I'm going logic, like I'm going sequentially. But you have to know, and this is a truth, you can read about it. The engines necessarily don't work in the sequence like we write them. So how they work internally is something that is really a big job to understand. And I've never read it. I've never done research on it in that depth that I can talk about it. I've read about them, but I haven't written them. So I won't write this thing for the simple reason that it doesn't make sense to me logically. But of course, in here in 7A, you could have written distinct wherever you wanted it. Then it will only show it once, right? I mean, you can always use distinct and it will only show it once. That takes care of your second script that I gave to you. So we'll take a break here and then we'll come and do the other script, right? So these were the big ones. Big ones means they were tough too. And I was trying to show you everything and talking about efficiency, inefficiency, and so on. But maybe in the other ones, I'll kind of say, now you can do better jobs. So you've seen correlation, correlated subquery, and that was a part of your assignment. I remember I've asked you somewhere. Group by having by was just a revision, right? And I would like to do a self join with you because that's also in one of your assignments. So I'll do the self join first. And where is the self join? I'll have to find out which table had the self join. I think the clown one had it. Did I give you a clown table? No, not yet. I'll give you the clown table first then. I'll put it on Blackboard. So take a break, guys. Oh, I need lunch too. But I'll do the clown one with you. It has a self join. Let me find it where I have it. Oh, there it is, clowns. Okay, somebody was looking for a partner. Alex. Alex is looking for a partner. Oh, you emailed me, didn't you? Oh, I. With whom? Oh, okay. Okay, then Ali. Is Ali in my class, in this class? Oh, you are Ali. Oh, sorry. I thought Ali was a boy's name. Okay, so now Nathan is looking for a partner. Does everybody have a partner in this section? No. Let me see. What tomorrow is the last date? If I have nobody, then you can do it alone. Right?
Do you want me to send you an email?
No, I remember.
Well, I won't see you next week.
Oh, I'll send you an email tomorrow. Yeah. So maybe it's a good idea that you send me an email. I know there is one student, but he's not emailing me. He's out of the town. He's out of country doing somewhere, but he's not emailing me. Go down. Guys, you don't see the group assignment? Oh God. No. But you did see it on Monday when I posted it? How can that be possible? Because are you sure it was not visible since Monday? And nobody emailed me saying it is not visible? All you do is email me, Anju, we can't see it. Guys, just tell me, I forgot to make it unhide. Okay. Email me. Anju, I can see it. There it is. It's been there since Monday. What is it today? That means you didn't even think of looking at it. Okay, there it is. I forgot to make it available to you because usually I finish everything, I see everything is okay, and then I make it visible.
It was visible before they restarted. But what is the grade percentage that's left for the course?
20 for the group. 20 for the group and 20 for the final exam.
Okay, so there are no more in-class assignments?
No, you're done. You're done.
અને બધું ઇનહેરિટન્સ ને બધું કરવાનું જોઈએ તો આજે કરું ઝીરો ઝીરો સેન્ટર નોટ ધ લેફ્ટ પછી એટલે દો સેન્ટર બ્રેકેટમાં લખ્યું છે એટલા માટે પછી લખ્યું છે मैंने कहा लोग कैसे वर्क के लिए बता वो पैनल
પેનલ જે લીધી છે પેનલ જે આપણે રોબોટ લીધું છે ને એ પેનલની જોડે મર્જ થઈ જશે પેનલની અંદર મૂકી જ દઈશ
नहीं था तो मारा तो ऊपर भी जता है बाहर निकले
બહાર નીકળી દેખાય જ કરો
देखा तो मैं
દેખાય
देखा
જ છે મતલબ એ થર્ડ એની જોડે મર્જ થઈ ગયું ત્યારે બાઉન્ડ આપવા પડશે ત્યારે બહાર નીકળી
तो मैं आपने ऑर्डर क्या
રોજો માં રહેશે
बाउंड के लिए बता एनी से मतलब प्रॉपर्टीज में properties में any sizes से जो बाउंड ये भी प्रॉपर्टी નથી પણ મેન્યુઅલી આપણે જોવું પડે છે કે ક્યાં સુધી આવી જાય છે because એની ક્વિક ડાયમેન્શન્સ
પેનલની બાઉન્ડ્રી બધી
મેન્યુઅલી એવું ફાઇન્ડ કરવું પડે છે કે એની બાઉન્ડ્રી કેટલા સુધી છે અને મેન્યુઅલી એને બતાવવું પડે છે
કેવી રીતે
એને
ખબર છે
100 સુધી
ખબર છે
કીધેલું છે
એ જે એરો છે ને એને પ્રિન્ટ કરાવ્યો છે ને
X-axis મારા
હું પ્રિન્ટ ક્યાં કરાવી છું
થાય છે
હાઈડ રાખી જોયું છે
અને મેન્યુઅલી -1 થી -1 કરવું છે હવે છે ને નોટ ગોવન
I wrote a couple things down here by myself.
અને છે ને સાઉથ
The same thing with the shirt, but I didn't want to do
પ્લીઝ
It's like,
બે મિનિટ આપી
yeah, there's just like so many different types of joints. I don't really understand. Left and right, inner and outer attachment.
And for me, the thing is, the first class, I feel like,
Yeah.
રેડી
well, actually,
Yeah.
actually have to be different. Yeah, they have like, basically what the queries, like, they have some queries that you want to say or how they do it.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah, I watched like when we began this course,
Yeah.
and I took a look at what happens in my playlist.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's some good videos.
I might have to watch that. I don't know, like I get what to do with the joints, but I just still.
અને આમાં પછી આપણે પોસ્ટ કરશું તો કરવાનું એક્ઝેક્ટ તો કરવાનું
ખાલી લિંક મોકલી
એને કઈ લિંક જ મોકલવાની છે ગમે ત્યારે આપણે રિઝલ્ટ ખાલી આજે રાત્રે
લિંક તો મોકલી દે
કરવું કરીને પછી અપડેટ કરીને મોકલી દેવાનું અત્યારે
C# is very much You need to have an event wired to the class and one application slot.
બે સેકન્ડમાં આપણે ડાયરેક્ટ કોડમાં નાખી દઈએ એટલા માટે તો નહીં હોય સેકન્ડ ચેક નહીં કરવાનું ખાલી કોડ જ મૂકી દઈએ બરાબર શેર નથી કરી સેકન્ડ અસાઇનમેન્ટ માટે
બીજી વાત કરી
તો મેં તમને તે વખતે જ પૂછ્યું
કીધું તો તમે ખરીદી કરો તો કરી દીધી
કે આપણે ફોલ્ડરની અંદર મૂકી ફરી વાર લિંક નથી
તું સર્ચ કરતી હતી પછી કરતું શું પછી સર્ચ કરતી તું તમને ખબર છે તમે ભૂલે ના
એટલા બધા નામો અને એવું જ લાગે છે
વાત કરી ને
for the event of using
No,
that.
no,
I
no,
feel
no. Kind of remember the same model,
you know,
but I forgot
probably in
this
one
one.
sports intelligence
Some-
class, that I'm not sure because it says fire an event response to fire. And we pretty much did exactly that in the one lecture. When we showed us how to use the delegate and community response. I just don't remember exactly how that's done because we spent so long going across the long where you can choose
જો આજે લિમિટ છે ને જેટલા વોર્નિંગ આવે છે ને એ લિમિટને સેટ કરી દેશે હવે હું બહુ થતી ગયું છું કેટલા વેરિયેબલ લીધા સેટ કરતા
Yeah. So many that great, but like I have no idea. Yeah, it's a lot harder than like when I watched it. Same with my calculator. I did like the whole thing and stuff
so you used to
the original content is not when you draw the line, right? I just thought he would recognize yeah, so like things that matter and stuff. Yeah,
but it's
I have a problem related to y is equal to minus 19%. But the total is not in South
I did pretty okay on that one, but then three words on the
minimum
second
rate
one.
quantity like
Further
हमारा करेक्ट
Yeah.
वन में अंदर ऊपर करेक्ट माइनस
For anyone who would have come.
मिडल में प्रॉपर मिडल में
કઈ રીતે કરી તો એટલે
फिगर आउट करेंगे तो एक्स प्लस और जो बाउंड्री प्लस माइनस
x minus 3 x-axis.
um defect one.
Right. Axis जो नीचे में yes so 1 minus for you arrow to say panel name location
Yeah, for example, my last name, so yeah, it's
Do we have the assignment, class assignment? No, this is group assignment.
The group assignment is just take home and you finish it and submit it whenever it is done.
Do we need to email you about how to do
Group? No, not necessarily. No.
Not necessarily, just we're gonna make it good.
If you don't have somebody, then you email.
All right.
Okay.
link share कर दीजिए पर link share कर
So I think the
Not right now, no. Right now, there's a couple that I like to write. I'm fine right now.
Ready, guys? Please download this script I've just posted on Blackboard. It is called Clown's script, right? I should have put it in the zip file with joins and subqueries. I think I forgot. It's not in your zipped file. Is it on in your zip file, something called Clown SQL or something? If not, just download this. I want to discuss it with you. And I'll open it here. After you download it, you please open it too. So whatever we've completed, whatever we've just completed, I'll put back on Blackboard. I've already been doing it every week. So we completed, this is week 11. So you know what? I'll just kind of, oh well. Please download that script and then we'll go from there. Once you have it, please open it up in your workbench. I don't know how I forgot. I had it here, but I didn't give it to you. Okay, a very interesting small script that we'll look at and that will help show you two things. One, a self-referential foreign key, and two, a self-join. Oh, it's week 11. Oops. Okay, once you have it from Blackboard, it's complete, but I want to talk about it because, as I said, it has two important things. One, I want to show you what a self-referencing foreign key is, a key that refers to itself in the same table. And two, what a self-join is, because you will need a self-join in one of the questions for sure. We are talking about the script that I'm just opened, the clowns one. Was there a clowns in the week 8 one? Oh, was there? In 8, week 8? Yeah, or week 9? Oh, it was in week 9? No, week 9. Okay, so I don't see it. Wednesday. Oh, I see what you mean. And I wasn't sure whether I had done it. So I had put in this one, the joins and subqueries one. Yes. The week 8 one has the clowns one. That's really odd. We were not even. I think the joins and subqueries could have it. The clowns, the week 8 cannot have it. Just joins and subqueries may have it, right? Okay. Okay. So if you have it, open it up then. Please. Okay, it's the same one though, right? Should be. I think so. I think so. You have it, right? If you have it, I don't have it. So that's why I'm thinking, why don't I have it? And that's why I gave it to you. Let me double check. This is the zipped file I gave you. You're right, you have it. Yes, it is the same one. Except I'll also open it from here so that we are on the same grounds, okay? So I won't open the one that I just downloaded. So I'm going to remove this, just remove it. Guys, if I said the assignment was posted and you couldn't see it, did none of you email me saying the group, we can't see the group assignment?
It was posted, but then I looked today and then it wasn't there anymore.
Oh, so it was when I did the switch yesterday from, oh, okay. I'm thinking nobody emailed me and now you're saying it's not there. So like you didn't even look at it. So maybe when, yeah, I've switched I had to, there was no other way to get my gradebook back. They gave me an old shell and then had the marks and then I had to kind of re-put things again. So whatever I did, which was not bad, only for the last couple of weeks, I had to redo. That's when I think I forgot to do it. So thank you. So it was there. I'm thinking nobody's emailing me. Are this? Okay, so back to where we were. So I'm going to open the same one that you have then, just in case, though I don't know, but just in case. It's called Blackboard Store. Let me just open it in, oh, but it will open it wherever. Okay, let me see what I have. So let me go and open the file that I gave you, which means it is in some zip file. Oh, come on. Where is it opening up? Let's see. I'm not sure what's happening. Oh God, I closed my workbench of all the things to do. So the script I gave you is in the zipped file, which means I have to unzip it, seems like. It's called Blackboard. Okay, so this one. Okay. Let me open it for you. So opening the same file that you have, it's Wednesday, 9 to 13. Clowns BB it's called, right? Okay, there it is. Oh yeah, okay. Oh, this one, I've given you the solution, but that's okay, no big deal. And it's just one, it just has one query, but it has two very important things or concepts to understand. And that's why I want to do it and not leave it till next week, because it will be very near your assignment due date. Okay, let's see what it is in this. So this one is a simple, very silly example, but an interesting one. And as I said, going to show you two things here. One, we are going to talk about a self join, which you will have a question on, I'm sure in the assignment. And two, also about a self-referencing foreign key. Look at what the table contains. So this information is about some clowns, right? So what is the clown ID, which of course clowns don't have ID. So I just made it an auto increment primary key. The clown name, every clown has a name, and the boss of that clown, which I've called boss ID. So every clown has a boss, and maybe somebody at the top doesn't have a boss. You see what I mean? Like somebody, maybe the boss of everybody. So what I've done is this. Interesting to see is to understand the table first. Think about it. So there are some clowns, clown 1, 2, 3, 4 till whatever, 10, right? And each of them has a boss. Now the boss of the clown is also a clown, and his or her information has to be in the table also, right? Think what I'm stressing is this. So every clown, okay, let me show you the data. Maybe it will make more sense. Okay, so we have LC as a clown, and I'm saying that the boss of LC is 1. Now, who is this one? It's an ID. But who is 1? LC is her. Is LC a boy's name or a girl's name? No. Okay. So LC is his own boss. Okay. So what I'm trying to show you here in this table is the first important thing is this. the boss ID value, the value of the boss ID has to be a valid value from the clown ID. Do you see the relation? Every clown has an ID, and the boss of a clown is also a clown. So the boss ID of a clown has to be an existing clown. And so if clown number one, for example, clown number one has a boss, that boss is also a clown. Clown number two has a boss, and that boss is also a clown. So he or she will also have an ID. So here is a field whose values are being drawn from the same table, another field, which is the primary key. Do you see the relationship? The boss of a clown is a clown. So the ID of the boss has to be an existing ID of a clown. And that existing ID is actually the primary key of the table. So the value that occurs in the third field of any record has to be an existing clown ID in that table. So this is an example of a field which is a foreign key because its values are depending upon another field. But that another field, instead of being in another table like you did in your jobs table, is present in the same field. So this is called a self-referencing foreign key. Okay. And how do I say it? I mean, there's nothing new in it. I say it's a foreign key. I didn't give it a name this time. I said boss ID is a foreign key, and it is referencing the clown ID from the same table. So nowhere have I mentioned self-referencing, but I've just defined it as a foreign key. But this is an example of a self-referencing foreign key. Two things to keep in mind. One, the engine that works with foreign keys is InnoDB, which by default is also the engine of MySQL now in all recent versions. But if you are looking at an old script or something, and it says MyISAM or something, you will have to change it to InnoDB, because MyISAM does not support foreign keys at all. What to talk about self-referencing one? It doesn't support foreign keys at all. So you always have to use InnoDB if you want the rules of the foreign key to be enforced. Otherwise, they won't be enforced. Enforced means, oh, I can add something and it's not even in my other table. So to enforce the rules of a foreign key, you have to use the InnoDB engine, which we have been doing. All our tables have been using InnoDB. So, and it's not necessary on our own laptops, because I know that all recent, every WAMP, XAMPP, everything has InnoDB as its default engine. But who knows which server you will be using? You don't know which engine is prevalent or being used or active on that particular server. So you will always add engine is equal to InnoDB either in your table or as a set statement in your script, however you want it. If you add it in tables, it is only relevant to that table. If you add it in the script, it is relevant to all the tables in the script. You may say, oh, I want this table to be InnoDB. I want this table to be ISAM. I want this table to be something else. There are 10 or 12 engines. Every engine has its own advantages and disadvantages. Okay. So you may choose to have tables with different engines, but for foreign key, it has to be InnoDB. So I'm keeping it as InnoDB. So what have I said? The small, these are easy, dropping, creating, and using. These are all easy ones. You've already seen this many times, but my comments here are saying something. It says, create the table structure for clowns info, which I've done. I forgot the word TBL. That's okay. A self-referencing foreign key. Oh, I've used a different convention altogether here. I haven't even used dashes here, which I should. So I'll come back to that for sure. I don't want to confuse you. Either I use Java naming conventions or I stick with this one. Okay, so I've done tables everywhere, okay? The TBL was not important, but the dash after the DB was important because I don't want to not follow conventions, and I can't expect it from you. Oh God, that was really silly. I could have just done it with the replace and find. Okay, let's get back. Hopefully it will run. Okay, so I've said create the table structure for the table. A self-referencing key is a field that is drawing its value from the same table. And boss ID is a self-referencing foreign key. So in the same table, I don't know what kind of ERD this will create, because there are no other tables, but I'll double check what ERD is created. There's only one table here, but I want to show you two important things, and that's what I want to do. So the boss ID is a self-referencing key, and it is drawing its value from the clown ID in the same table. There is your rule. You all understand the rule. We've done this rule in 3 tables for the last 2 weeks. Okay. Plus, don't forget that you should do your engine InnoDB. Okay. Now, how do I insert records in this table? Second important thing. I just can't create them randomly. Like, I just can't put them in any order. The rule is, so you can put the foreign key here as I have done, but I haven't shown to you this before, but you can always alter a table and add a foreign key. Oops. And add a foreign key afterwards, like you add a primary key or add a unique thing. It can be done afterwards also, right? I mean, both things can be done. It's just to show you. But what I want to also bring to your notice is this. MySQL will enforce the self-referential constraint in the InnoDB engine, but records need to be inserted in a certain order, right? And the order is this. The boss ID needs to exist before a clown record is inserted. What do I mean is this. When LC's record is added, suppose this is my first insert statement. Think this is my first insert statement. What is the clown ID for LC? 1, right? Because it's the first record. Remember, it's a primary key auto increment. Now, who can be the boss of LC? There is no other clown yet in the database. The rule says the boss ID values must already exist in the table. So the first record that you put in a table should be for that clown who is her or his own boss. So this tells me that LC's boss is LC himself. This is a rule. You have to do it this way. Why? Notice now. What about Pickles? Pickle says my boss ID is 2, which is kind of saying, oh, I'm my own boss. Snuggle says my boss is LC. Mr. Hobo's boss is also LC. Clarabelle's boss. Who is Clarabelle's? 1, 2, and 3. Snuggles is the boss of Clarabelle. So for Scooter, Zippo, odd names anyway. Zippo's is 1, 2, 3, 4. Mr. Hobo is the boss of Zippo. Babe has 5 as his or her boss, and Bonzo has 5 again. Sniffles has 10 as his boss. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So Sniffles is his own boss. If I try to add, for example, if I try to add Bobo and I say his boss is 12, I'll get an error. Why? Because 12 does not exist. So the sequence of the boss IDs here is important. It's something that you have to live with. It's just how it works. So insertion has to be done in a certain order. That's all you have to remember, which is not a tough thing. Whoever is his own boss, you put them first, and then you put the other records. Now this is something that has no other solution. I mean, I've tried it many ways, and this is the only way it works. For self, and it makes sense. The self-referential key says I'm inserting a record, and you're saying the boss ID is 5, and 5 doesn't exist in the table. So the only way you can do is insert the record that is the boss first, and then insert the record whose boss is the other boss. So in this order, I'll be fine. So the order is important. If I change it, I'll have problems. So LC is her own boss, so is Pickles, and then the other boss is leaving Sniffles again is his own boss, right? So this is a self-referencing foreign key which draws its value from another field in the same table. You have to use InnoDB as your engine because that's what supports the foreign keys. 2, you have to insert the records in a certain order, otherwise it will create a problem. So for now, because I did my just name changes and thing, I'm just going to see if my script is running. Or I made a mistake. Cannot add foreign key constant. Where? Oh my God, don't tell me. Why can't I add it? Now, this script was running perfectly fine. What did I do to it? So the problem is somewhere here. Let's see this. Oh, it is running. No, it still says cannot add foreign key constraint. Create table. In create table, it's giving me a problem. Okay, let's come to create table then. No, in the create table itself. Int not null auto increment primary key. Varchar int not null. Oh, not null. No, that's okay. Foreign key boss ID references clowns info. Oh, there. Here is the problem. TBL is missing. Replace it, find and replace. Never do that. Anyway, so that was what was missing. I'm thinking this script runs perfectly fine. Like I've tested it. Let me just run it till here. Okay, fine. Now I'm going to just test the whole script. Okay, now I'll try to make mistakes. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to say LC, your boss is number 9. 9 will come someday, but your boss is 9, right? There is no syntax error. I don't see any red squiggly because I'm just inserting data. Fingers crossed, this should give an error. Okay, so here it says cannot add or update a child row, a foreign key constraint fails. Does it make sense? What row is it not getting? It is getting a problem right at this row. Why? Because 9 does not exist. Does the clown ID 9 exist at this point? No. So I cannot do it. Logically, it makes sense. It says, how are you inserting a record when 9 does not exist in the table? The only difference is 9 was existing in another table before when it was drawing its value from another table. Now it has to exist in the same table. That's the only difference. But the foreign key says it has to exist. So the only way is you have to go a certain way of inserting them. Of course, I could do Pickle's boss could be LC, no problem. But I mean, I just chose to do 2. He or she is his own boss. And now it will run. And everything is fine. So if I want to keep the same data, that's fine. If you want to change the data, that's also okay. The only thing you have to remember is that the boss ID has to be a value that already exists. Writing different insert statements will not help. Writing them separately, insert the first record, insert the second, that won't help. It really doesn't matter. You say, oh, I'll write this as my first statement and then I'll put all these separately in a second. That won't help. The rule remains the same. The boss ID must exist. Okay. So that's a self-referential key, but data has to be inserted in a certain order. Got it? You've got this point clear now. Now I want you to do this. Don't look at the solution yet, please. I forgot. The solution was already done. Now it says, get me the name of each clown and then get me the name of the clown's boss also. Look at the table. The name of the clown is easy, LC. But where is his boss name? What do you have to do? You have to pick up the boss ID, 1. Look into in the same table and say whose ID is 1. So think of it like this. Let me draw it for you because this is something which may be visually a little better. Okay, so I have a table. And it is an important concept, but it's a concept which once you understand, then you're good to go. It has 3 fields. There is a clown ID, which is automatically being filled up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think we have 10, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay. Then there is the name of which I remember the first one only, and then Pickles or whatever, right? The boss ID. So this is the name of the clown, and this is the boss ID. And Pickles' boss was himself, and then just take one more, Snuggles, and make it 1. Okay, now think about it. Okay, so I want the name of the clown, and I want the name of his or her boss. Okay, so the name of the clown is here, but the table doesn't have the boss name, and it doesn't make sense because, like, why would I repeat data? But I have his ID. So if I pick up the ID from here, and in the same table I see what is the name of 1, I'll find that LC's boss is LC. Same with Pickles. Pick up the ID 2, and in the same table, look whose ID is 2. 1. In the same table, go and find out who 1 is. So you will have LC's boss is LC, Pickles' boss is Pickles, Snuggles boss is LC. So you're using the table twice, right? The same table. Now there is only one table. So how do I tell the engine to say use the same table? What can be done is what is called a self join. It is an inner join, but you're joining the table to itself. So I'll join this table to itself, but on what? You tell me, on what should I join? I'm picking up the boss ID, and the boss ID in the first table has to match with the clown ID in the second table. I'm calling them 1 and 2 now. So I make a copy of this table. Same copy, I make it. I won't make it, but I'll tell SQL to make it for you. Same thing, right? The ID of the clown, the name of the whatever, and then the boss ID. Okay, now look at the logic. Name, yes. Pick up the clown boss ID, yes. Look for this boss ID in this table. Where? Which column? Clown ID column. And then find his or her. Okay, so when I join these two tables, though it's one table only, when I join these two tables and I call it table 1 and table 2, how do I join them? The boss ID here should be equal to the clown ID. That's by joining them. Right? Similarly, this 2 has to be joined with this 2. This one has to be joined with this one. So you are not going to join the tables on boss ID because they have the same name, or you're not going to join the table on the clown ID just because they have the same name. You have to think what you're trying to do with the self join. With the self join, you're trying to join this boss ID. You're trying to look for this boss ID in the column of clown ID in the second, right? So your select statement should be select the clown name, which is okay, and the clown name again, because I want the name of the clown, but it is his boss's name, right? And look at what I'm doing. I'm joining the two tables to itself. Since the two tables are named the same, I have to give them some alias names for sure. Though I've told you, alias names are not necessary, but in this case, they are a must because it's the same table. So I say, okay, C1 is my first table, C2 is my second table. Of course, they are the same table. So it's in the mind that I'm kind of doing the two tables like this, right? And how have I joined it? The boss ID in the first table should be equal to the clown ID in the second table. Now, is it always necessary that they will be joined on different fields? No, two tables may be joined on the same field. But what is important here is the self-join. I'm showing you how a table can be joined with itself. And it can be. It's completely correct syntax and logic. So somewhere in your assignment, there will be a self-join. I've given a question on self-join. How does it look different? It looks no different at all. I haven't used any word called self-join or anything. I could have used inner join and on, but I just used a comma. You can write the word inner join if that makes more sense to you. With inner join, you can use where, you can use on. With comma, you cannot use on. But the joining condition is telling me that the boss ID of the first table should match with the clown ID of the second table. And then what do you want to do? You want to pick up the name from here, and you want to pick up, that's the clown's name anyway, and you want to pick up the name from here, right? And so notice again, pick up the name from here, C1 clown name, it's my first table, right? And pick up the name of the boss from the second table, and I've given them two different names because otherwise I won't know who's who. So one is called clown name and one is called boss name. And this is your result, which should be LC's boss is LC. Oh, did I change pickle to 1 or to 2? No. So why is how come pickle's boss is coming as LC too? This is the boss ID. Something is not right here. This is the boss ID. Pick it up from here. It should match the clown ID here, which is this person. Oh, that is strange. Look at other answers, please. What about Snuggles boss is LC? LC 3. Who's 3? 1, 2, 3. Snuggles. Snuggles is okay. And Snuggles is okay. Who's 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. Mr. Hobo is okay. 5 is Clarabelle is okay. Sniffles. How come Pickles is not right? Everybody else is okay. Did I change it and then not run it again? Could be. Yeah, I changed it and I didn't run the whole script again. Maybe. Let's try, save it and just run it. Yeah, that could be the only reason that I can think of. Yeah, there it is. Thank you, Nathan. Right? I must have changed it and then not run the whole script again. So of course it would. So there are your answers, which are right. Right? So a self-referential foreign key. How to write the insert statements when a self-referential foreign key is involved. And 3, how to do a self-join. Right? So 3 important things in this small example. Okay? How does it draw the ERD? I don't know, but it's only one table. So how does it show it? I'm not sure. I've never tried it. So once it is ready, you can try it if you like. We can go database. We can go reverse engineer. What was it called? Something to do with clowns, DB clowns or something. I don't know how it does it draw it. DB_clowns. There it is. There is only one table. So let's see how it shows the self-referential key. I doubt if it will do anything very great, but oh, there, not bad. It's kind of drawn the relationship, right? Which is very important. So now we've seen another red. Red was for foreign. Remember the color red was for foreign. So blue was for not null. If there was no color, it was just a normal field with nothing special. Red was for foreign key, but it's not showing the key symbol because the primary key of this table is the clown. If it is a foreign key and a primary key, then you will have a red key. But if it is only a foreign key, then you won't have the key symbol, you will just have the color. So this is how it is drawing it, which is good. At least it's making sense. So clown ID is the key. The clown name is a not null varchar field. And the boss ID is a foreign key, but a normal field. You see the red, the diagonal is just a field, but it is red in color, and red means that it is a foreign key. And this relationship shows that one clown, okay, now where is the relationship going from? This is an odd one, but is it going from, I don't see the arrows in this one. In the other ones, you usually see the arrows. So 1 to infinity. One clown cannot have many bosses, but a clown can be a boss of many clowns. Right. So this is okay. This diagram is okay. A clown can be a boss of other clowns, right? Like the LC is a boss of many clowns. So the relationship is okay. Right. So that's how it draws it. Not bad. I'm impressed with this one at least. Okay. So done. Do you understand this? So when you see a self-join in your assignment, you have to kind of think, and maybe you don't need all the records. Maybe you have to filter some records. Do whatever. You can do whatever you like with this select statement. You can add where, order by, group by, having everything else stays. There's no difference between this select clause and any other select clause except that the table is being joined with itself. Everything else remains the same. So you can use anything that you've learned till date in your conditions and or relation, everything will work. Right? It's just a normal select statement. And it can work with all the clauses that you've worked with till date. Only difference is that it is joining a table with itself, and it is important to give them alias names because it's the same table being joined with itself. And this is an example of a self-join. Okay, and you will definitely need it in your assignment. Okay, so this is on Blackboard. It is complete. I didn't have to complete it, so I won't put it back. But try to understand that if I try to put somebody, I've already shown you that I couldn't put 9 here, though 9 was coming, and definitely you cannot put 12 here because 12 doesn't even exist. Okay, and the insertion record is very important. The order in which you put is very important. I tried to do this actually, therefore this is in comments. I tried to insert first and then I tried to alter the table. I wasn't successful. Maybe I can try it once more, but I wasn't. So the rule stays that they have to be inserted in a certain order. Okay. Though, what if I do this? Can I? I'll do it afterwards. I won't trouble you. Something else came in my mind. But this is right. What I've given you is absolutely correct. Okay. Now open up your next script. Open up the beer one. The beer one is small. We can complete the beer one today. So you have it again in the same zipped file. I'll pick it up from where I have it, and then I'll save it in yours. So this one is a small one. It's called beer scripts. It should be in your zipped file. Let me save it as. It only has 4, so it's okay. We can finish it before the class finishes. And I'll put it in your Wednesday section. It just has 4 queries. Week 11 underscore. Okay, there we go. Okay. Of course, nothing else but joins and subqueries. We have nothing else to do. One more topic, the view topic, which very quickly I'll do at the end. It's just that you can create a view of tables. Right now, tables are being physically created in your database. They're physical, they exist. Sometimes you would like to pick up some fields from different tables and just kind of make a virtual table, like a view that doesn't have a physical existence, but you can work with it. That's what is called a view. And it's just in your course contents. So I'll do a couple of examples for it for you guys, but I want to do my joins first. Okay, so here is what is doing my default storage engine for all tables. It's InnoDB, all caps, small, whatever works for you. Looks like I forgot my comments. Bad of me. Anyway, you can do it for me. The next 3 is just creating a database, dropping and creating a database and using it. And again, I repeat, you don't have to do this here. Every table can have a different default storage engine, because these storage engines kind of tell you how that table can be worked with, right? So they are the masters. Do you lock a row? Do you lock the whole table? Who can access it? So on and so forth. So I have done this way, but it's not necessary. But now you should know that there is one thing you can do. Let's look at the tables. This is an interesting one for people who are drinkers, who like to drink beers. But anyway, here is a table which is telling me information about brewers. Brewers means who brews the beer, right? So it has an ID and the name. And all my IDs are primary keys, auto increment. Okay, so this is my first one. What is it available with? In what cases? Is it available 6 per case, 12 per case, 24 plus case? So size. Second table, table cases, how is it available? Third, the third table. So these 2 tables are just normal tables. So if you kind of look at their data, they're just normal tables. See, so Molson, Labatt, Miller, and Muskoka. Names of 4, just 4 brewers or breweries, right? And then 1, 2, 3, 4 automatically their primary keys. I have a list with brewers. Okay, cases 6, 12, and 24. They look odd. The insert statements are looking odd because they're in one line. But notice they only have a field, right? They only have a field. The other field is auto increment. So I didn't bother to. I shouldn't be putting it, and I didn't bother to. Something that I see that I don't like now is the name field. When you copy examples from somewhere, they don't have comments, and definitely they use names that necessarily may not be right. Reserved words, date, for example, name, for example, right? So as I do it, I'll change it because I don't want you to get into the habit. So this is a brewer name. So I'll change it. I'll do a control H, somebody told me, right? So name, and change it to there, replace all, there. Okay, so there, one job done. So these 2 tables are clear, simple tables. One has the names, one has the sizes, 2 normal tables. Let's go further. The third table has a foreign key. What does the third table have? Third table says, again, it has an ID, which is its foreign, it's just a normal primary key. It has the name of the brewer and it has a brewer ID. Okay, so this name is not what we wanted. This was another name, right? It has nothing to do with, this is the name of the beer, I'm sure. Oops, that's what happens with replace all. Yeah, this is not the brewer name. This is the beer name. Okay, so you'll have to make a change here, guys. Replace all didn't work very well for me. Where are we? Come to the third table, please. Call this a beer name, the name of the beer. Okay, we'll make changes as we go on. Okay, so this is the third table. It is talking about beers. An ID, which auto increment, because how else would you give IDs to beers? The name of the beer and who brews that beer. So what is the foreign key? Brewer ID is a foreign key because it is referring to the ID value from the brewer's table. Make sense? Right? So this table is telling me that this beer is being brewed by this brewer, right? And notice I gave it a different name here. I called it brewer ID here. And in the other table, it was called ID. Till now, we've always been using the same name. Now I want to show you that you can use different names and it will still be okay. Make sense? This table is okay. Look at its contents. Please look at its contents. And when you look at its contents, please change the name of the field to beer name. So what does it tell you? It's telling you the Canadian beer is being brewed by one. Who is this one? Molson, right? Export by one again, Molson. Blue by Labatt. 50 by Labatt again. High Life by Miller. Light by Miller. Cream Ale by Muskoka, and Premium Lager also by Muskoka. You'll say, why don't I just repeat those names? Because data repetition is not a solution or is not a good designing principle in databases at all. How many places will you put the same information? Only one. So the names have gone into a table. Whenever I want to use those names, what do I use? I use their IDs. We'll say, what's wrong in repetition? Find and replace all. We just saw a problem with find and replace all, right? It's not copying code. That is what should be avoided. It is the integrity of the data that is important. So if for whatever reason, Molson now changes the name to Molson's, I only need to make the change at one place. And data integrity is maintained. Data integrity means accuracy of data. The truthfulness of data is maintained. Otherwise, it's my job as a programmer to write scripts that will maintain it. If I don't, then my data tables are doomed, right? It will be all over the place. Somewhere it's changed, somewhere it's not changed, and so on. So don't repeat data or information in tables in a database if it can be avoided. Sometimes you do it purposely because of for some reason. It is done. Sometimes it is done. I've done it a couple of times when I've created applications, but that was a different reason. But otherwise, you don't duplicate data for data integrity reasons. Okay, so third table is clear. Third table is just giving you the name of the beer and giving you a brewer ID, but these IDs are a foreign key drawing their values from the table brewers. Third table is clear. Let's talk about the fourth table and the last table now. This table says the sales that were made. So again, an ID, a primary key. It's in the first normal form. I have to have a primary key. And again, till now, I have not been able to show you an example of a foreign key of a second normal form. Maybe I'll have to do a lesson with you separately. Please change this date to sale date or something. The date on which the sale was made. I'm not doing a complete replace all because there is a date here also, the type also, okay? I'll do it when I need it. Then the beer case ID and then the quantity. So read this table like this. And there is a foreign key. The beer case ID is referencing from the cases table and ID value. So what is it telling you? Is it a table? Is it a case of 6, 12, or 24? So it's telling you that on this date, you sold 6 or 12 or 24 case, and how many of them did you sell, the quantity, right? This is the fourth table. So let's look at the data of the fourth table. And when you do that, please come here and, oh, I've missed a table. That's why. I see one more to go. Oh, here, there it is, right? That's why I'm saying, where is the price of my beer cases? This is the third table. It's a table called beer cases. It has an ID. It has a case ID, a beer ID, and a price. Price should be unsigned. Please make it unsigned. Oh, wrong place. Unsigned comes after the decimal, not before the decimal. And now it has two foreign keys. The case ID is referring the ID from the cases table, 6, 12, 24. And the beer ID is referring the name of the beer from the beers table. All those beers that you had, 50 and all, whatever the names, I have no clue, right? So all those names that were in the beer table. So your table can have more than one foreign keys. Nothing stops you. It's just a foreign key, right? So can a table have more than one foreign keys? Sure, why not? It has a primary key, yes. All fields are atomic in nature, yes. No repetition of data, no. All these tables are in first normal form. They are also in the second normal form because every key is a single field. It's not a composite field yet. God knows, have I an example of a foreign key coming up or no? I better find an example for you. I was thinking it will come up. It hasn't till now, though I have 2 more weeks. Okay, let's now look at the last table, which was the sales table. That's why I'm thinking, where is the price? Okay, let's look at the last table now. Is the 42 okay for people who love beer? 2 places after decimal, 2 before. Anything more than 99.99? I don't know. 24 cases? If you've drunk better beers, make it 5-2, okay? I have no clue at all. Okay, the last table. The last table says I'm a sales table. I have an ID. The date it was sold. The beer case ID is simply saying, oh, I'm referring to the case number. And from here, see, from this table. So what is linking this 2 table? So let me kind of maybe make it, I want to show you both tables together. Here, now, that's better. Okay. So the ID of this table, good enough. Date the sale was done, no problem, good enough. This beer case ID is pulling its value from here. From here, this and this are related. Why? Because if I say quantity here, the price is coming from here. Price multiplied by quantity will tell me how much the customer has to pay. So which case are you buying is coming from here. And then the price is coming, quantity multiplied by price will tell you the sale price, the total sale price, right? So the beer case ID is int unsigned, quantity is in unsigned. We can go small int or tiny int. Quantities usually you don't buy in ints, but that's okay. The int is sitting here because this is an int. We can always make this also a small int, but who knows? 6, 12, 24 are cases are enough, but I've left ints as ints, though there can be better. And the foreign key is saying that this beer case ID is pulling its value from this table. So these 2 tables are related. And then all I've done is I've inserted some values. The name in the brewer's name, sizes in the beer cases, the beers themselves in the table beers. And here is the third one, which is absolutely a table that you can't read without knowing the other 3 tables. So what is this saying? This is saying so if you kind of go back here and kind of, if you can put it in your head, good. If not, don't worry about it. The first is the ID. So you can leave that alone. It is talking about case, beer, and price. Okay, let's come back. Okay, case, beer, and price. So the case number 1, that is 6. Beer number 1, whatever it was, the price is 10.50. Right? Now look at the second one. 2 means 12 beers. The case of 12, same, the first beer is for 20.50. So it's telling you that the Canadian beer case of 6 is $10.50. Case of 12 is 20.50. Case of 24 is 37.95. But if you just look at this table, it is nothing but values. But these tables are related. So if now I ask you out of the blue that, can you tell me what is the price for the Canadian beer in case of 6, you will have to start joining tables. How did I join it? I found out that 1 was Canadian. This one is 6 cases and the price is coming from here. Right? So I've kind of put Canadian export blue. In 50 is only available in 2 and 3. So basically it's not available, I think, in smaller sizes or maybe the biggest size. I can't remember what was 2 and what was 3. 12 and 24 it is available. So is High Life only available in 12 and 24 cases. So is Light. And all the rest are available in cases of 6, 12, and 24. But if you look at the tables data, it's so tough to kind of read them, the data, insert them. Last table, the date it was sold. And again, I forget, I have to go back. See, because you can't remember it. The date it was sold, the case ID. So which is it related to and the quantity. Okay, so what is it saying? I sold on 15th March of 2012, this first one. it's a primary key, first one, and I sold one of it. I sold on this, the second one, and I've written them 3 in a line so that it's clear. 6, 12, 24, 6, 12, 24. You could have written them in different lines. So it's kind of linking this table to this table. And how will you get the total price? Quantity multiplied by price. So if you sold more than 1, 2, you will have to multiply by whatever it is to give you, oh, these were the sales that I made on this particular date, right? Now run this script once. And if everything is okay, it's interrupted. So I must have missed a name somewhere. Where is it? Check the manual. No, nothing. So maybe something was highlighted. No, still says. Okay, so somewhere the name, nothing else. Oh, okay, already exist. Table brewers already exist. Okay, guys, let's see what mistake did I make. Right in create table brewers, it's giving me right in my first line. Must be something. Create table. Create. Oh, did I forget? No. Did I forget to drop my database? No. Create table brewers. Where are you, table brewers? Right here. I'm getting an error right here. Table DB beer already exists. That's a strange one. DB underscore D. You know what? It could be again the same thing that was happening in my other script. Okay, I'm just going to do this. Change the name of my database. I better clean up after this. No, I still have an unknown column. Okay, the date is okay. This one makes sense because we changed it to, what did we change it to? Sale date. So this one is making sense. The other one is, you may not even have it because something is not, it's a deletion problem on my laptop. There, we should be okay now. So that's the only error. If you have changed things, that should be an error that you get. If you haven't changed anything from there. If you didn't change anything from my script, then everything should run smoothly. I started changing names and therefore I had problems. Okay, so this is my first table. ID 1234, Molson, Labatt, Miller, and Muskoka. Table number 2, ID, the name of the beer, the brewer ID. And remember, these are coming from the first table. 1, 2, 3, 4 are coming from the first table. Table number 3, 1, 2, 3, case 6, 12, and 24. No idea what it means. Table 4 makes no idea because they are linked to each other, right? And again, table 5 will not make much sense because it is again linked. Now your job is to make the first thing before we even start answering. So what was it called? We don't want DB clowns now. DB beer 2, did I call it now? Here, that's it. And go to next. And go to next. We have 5 total objects. Go to next. Go to next and finish. Okay, now kind of place them so that at least you can read them and see them clearly. You're related here and you're related here. And it's a mess, but that's okay. Mess doesn't mean you can't have them. I'm trying to place them so that I can read them clearly. There. All my tables are related to each other, right? Same thing, red, foreign key, yellow. A key symbol is a key, right? Red color, foreign key. Yellow as a key, a primary key. I am not sure about 1 to infinity right now. I'll double check to see if they are right. But otherwise, it's telling me this. And see, this ID here is linked to the beer ID here. This ID here is linked to beer case ID here. This ID here is linked to brewer ID here. So this tells me that though the fields are called differently, they are linked to each other. So this example was specially made with the purpose of giving different names to fields that were related. Whereas in the first example that we did, the table contacts and all that, all field names were same. So this is to show you that they can have different names, but that doesn't mean they can't have relationships. Relationships grow from foreign key constraints. That's how relationship grows. So my tables are ready. It tells me what's linked to what. About 1 to infinity right now, I'm not paying a lot of attention just because I want to start doing the queries. Okay, let's come back. And you help me now. You start it with me because you've done quite a bit with me. Okay, let's look at what is required. Let's go, and there are only 4, but who knows how much time it takes. It says show all the, again this will happen because I did something, delete. Show all the brewer names and their beers in one list. Okay, so I want to show what? The name of the brewer and the beer that they brew, right? Which tables are required? Where is the brewer name coming from? Of course, the brewer's table. Here. Where are you, brewer's table? Here. The name is coming from here. And the name of the beer is coming from where? Here. And what joins them? Brewer ID here is equal to ID here. That tells me this brewer is brewing this beer. Okay. So 2 tables to be joined, this and this. Name of the brewer from here. Name of the beer from here. The joining field is called brewer ID here, and it is called ID here. So you can't use using now. You're out of using now because the names of the fields are not the same, which is okay, which is a good idea so that you practice on your own. Okay, so let's start. So start your select statement. So select. I'll tell you the field name so that you don't have to keep going back. Okay. There are 2 tables. I'm going to do a from first so that then we can give them alias names. So the first table is called table brewers, and I'm calling it BR. Okay, so that's the first table we decided. And the second table, I'm going with comma now, is called table beers, which I'm calling B. We've already decided these are the 2 tables we are interested in. Okay, so now I need the name of the brewer, which we know is present in the BR table, and we changed it to brewer name if I'm not mistaken, right? Okay, we called it brewer name. So select the name of the brewer. Now it's not necessary to qualify it. But again, as I said, some programmers just like the idea of qualifying every field so that there is no confusion. I leave it to you. And the name of the beer. Where is the name of the beer coming from? Name of the beer is coming from here. What is it called? Beer name. Maybe next time I'll get a printout before I come. Otherwise, I'll keep dancing. Okay, so you can say B if you want. And we called it beer name. I called it beer name. If you haven't changed it, then you still call it name. Okay. Now, what is the joining condition? Look at your ERD again. What is the joining condition? The brewer ID here is equal to ID here. So they have different names. Okay. But that doesn't mean they're not related. You cannot use on because I'm using a comma. You have to use where. If you're using inner join, please go ahead and use commas if you like, ons if you like. And now what? The ID of the BR, again, there is no necessity at all. I'm just overdoing it for 1, then I'll stop it, is equal to, and there it was called brewer ID, if I'm not mistaken, right? Of the second. It didn't tell me to order by anything. It just says show all name, but I'll just, as a practice, let's order it. And let's say show all the brewer names in one list or in one sorted ordered list. I don't know why I said list. It's kind of odd to say it, but anyway. Now, so you can do whatever you like. I'll do it this way. I'll say the brewer names comes first, and within the brewer names, the names of the beer. You can say 1, 2 if you like. You can say brewer name, beer name if you like. Or that's the only 2 ways you can say it. So 1, 2 say means what? The first field and the second field. If you don't like it, and that's perfectly fine. Some students don't like it. They can't make head or tail out of it. You write it like this. But I'll keep it this for your information. You can also write it as 1, 2, just by the virtue of how they are occurring. Right? I could have done it either way. You could have done it 2, 1. So here I'm making all beers made by a brewer, by the second brewer, by the third brewer, by the fourth brewer, and so on. There are 4, I think, right? Let's see if it works. So all Labatt's, LMNOPQ. some L, M, N, O. Yep, okay, that's how it is. It's only L and M, there is nothing else. So ascending and descending order you can change, but then all Labats, and in Labats, beers by ascending order. 50 is smaller than blue for your information. Digits come before capital letters in the ASCII or the Unicode set. They come after the smaller, but before the bigger. Then everything about Miller, then comes Molson, and then comes Muskoka. Want to change anything you want to ascending or descending, just put ascending or descending after that. Ascending is the default, descending is what it is. I'm not going to give you more than one solution here. You can use inner join and on condition and so on, but I'll leave it. We've done quite a bit of joining in the other programs. Okay, so this is the simplest one. Can I do it by an outer join? No, this is an obvious question of an inner join. I want to find the name, and they're related. There is no outer join here. Can I do a subquery? Can I do a subquery? So I pick up the brewer's name, fine. Can I pick up anything else from there? The brewer only has an ID and a brewer name. So I pick up the name from here. I pick up its ID here. Then I go and match the ID here, and then I find the name. Much more work, but it can be done. When you are looking for the similarity or what is common between two, inner join is the easiest one to do and the most obvious one, right? So I'll do one more, and then of course you won't let me teach after that because you have a class at 4, but let's do it. Do you want to try subquery? Maybe next time, or maybe you can do it. Let's try this one. All case selections. That means for every case, 6, 12, and 24, I want the brewer's name. Okay, so something must have kind of again done here. So I don't know what it was, because when I made I think this must have happened here. All case selections, name of the beer, the case size, and the case price for all beers. So the name of the beer, which table? Table beer. The size of the size coming from where? Open your ERDs. Okay, so the name of the beer from here. Sizes of the cases from here, right? And what was the third thing they asked or was asked? Names of the beer, case size, and case prices. Oh God, from here. So 3 tables have to be joined. Right? So the first, that's why I said ERD is something that is really important. You should know how to kind of do it. Okay, so let's go back. So we definitely know 3 tables have to be joined. How many do we have? Of course, we won't be able to finish it, but that's okay. That's fine. It's no big deal. Let's do this. Okay, so all names. Last one, okay? All names. So just take the names from me so that you don't have to kind of worry about it. B for the beer, we'll do the same thing, okay? Dot, beer name. Top one done. That's the name of the beer. The case size is coming from the cases table. Okay, so C for cases, okay? And the name of the field is size. 2, second field. Case price is again coming. Oh no, it's coming from a third table, beer cases table. Oh God, okay. So for beer cases, okay, the price. And just for this one, I'll say price in dollars or something like this. And again, you can give a name to everything you want. You can say case size here. Nothing stops you from giving names, and you can say beer name here or name of the beer. Like you can make a sentence out of it. Or just beer, whatever you like. Okay, now the 3 tables we are interested in. From. My first table is called table beers. Or beer, was it beer or beers? It was beers. Let's call it B, comma. The second table is coming from table cases, so that you don't have to keep looking at the ERD. I'm just giving you the names. It's called C. My third table is called table beer cases. And I'm giving the name BC. There. Again, there is no rule which says a field has to be included from every table. No. There is no rule which says a table cannot be included if I don't have a field in the select statement. They're two different things altogether. You decide which tables I want to select, and you decide what select fields I want to select depending upon the question. So I wanted 3 things to be selected, and they kind of said name of the beer is coming from the beer table, the case size is coming from the cases table, and the case price is coming from the beer cases table. So I had to include 3 tables. Automatically, they kind of matched, but there is no rule which says, oh, I cannot include a table if there is no field. I mean, that doesn't hold. Now your joining conditions. Okay. Now you may have to look back at your, oh, the beer name. Something is missing. Case has an ID and has a size, so that's okay. This ID is related to this price is okay. Okay, so it's okay. I didn't ask the brewer's name. Oh, that's what I went away from when I removed it. No, it's only says question number 2 says names of the beer, the case size, and the case price. Okay, so we are good. That's fine. That's fine. Okay, so now where? Join your tables, please. Now it's easy. B dot, what did we call it in the beer table? Beer ID? No, we just called it ID. This is its primary key. Is equal to the BCs, and what did we call it there? Beer ID. And I'm just putting it on a different line. Next, the cases ID is equal to the case ID from the BC table. Condition number 2. There. Anything else to be joined? 3 tables are involved. 2 joining conditions definitely will be there. Right? 3 tables joined, 2 joining conditions will be there. So what am I saying? This beer here can find its ID in this table. So in the ERD, start looking what matches. How is beers related to table beers? Here it is called ID, and here it is called beer ID. How is this table related to this cases? This ID here is called case ID here. Right? So because I just looked at it, I remembered it. Of course, nobody can remember it by heart, but ID was the name of the primary key in both tables, and beer ID and case ID was what it was called in the other tables. Again, if you want to order it by, here maybe you try to use, okay, I'll show you some, oh no, I cannot because it's a field that has more than one name. You can always use these alias names also, as long as they are single word. So I can use beer, but I can't use any of the other ones. So, okay, so if you want to order by now, do by whatever you like, really doesn't matter. I'll go by 1. This here I'll use 1 so that you can see. And within the beer, the case and the price. And by 2. So for 1 beer, it will show 6, 12, 24. Second beer, 6, 12, 24. Third, 6, 12, 24, and so on. The price, I cannot do it. It doesn't make sense, right? If you want to go opposite in your descending order, like it really doesn't matter. We have done an ascending before. You can do a descending here. Just trying to revise your order bys. Okay. Okay, let's do it. And then let's run it. So notice the beers will now come by decreasing order. So we have P, L, H. So in the opposite, 50 is the smallest, then B, then C, then E, then H. So they are in descending order. And within those, these are in ascending order, normal, 6, 12, 24. Of course, I can't do anything with the prices because it doesn't make sense at all. Right? So I didn't say comma 3. That was really foolish because there is only one case 6, there is only one case 12, there is only one case 24. So that shows you the 3 fields. Right? So 2 inner joins and 2 joining conditions. Again, you can replace it with inner join and replace the where with on, and it will work. Natural joins will not work in this assignment, in this classwork, because there are no common names. Natural joins will not work. What I'll try to do is, though I haven't done it, what I'll try to do is if I can do it by subquery, I'll tell you next time. I don't want to put my, it is not working. It's jam packed right now, but I'll try to see if I can do it with subqueries, but no outer joins, of course. So 2 done, 2 to go. We'll do it next week. Okay. So we'll be back to this one and a new script next week again. And then 1 more week to go where you can practice, or I'll do the views and that's it when you're done. Almost at the end of the semester. So what did I do? Clowns you already had. And we completed the other one, right? Is it week 11? Yes, I've already put the contacts jobs 2 for you. I've already done that. Clowns, you already have it. This one I'll do next time, okay? Okay, guys, thank you for your patience. Starting? No, stop.